Hi guys, glad to see some of you. It's later part of the evening and really nice to have you here. I'll quickly run you through some of the information about India market because I think the fundamental call which audience should take and must take is whether India makes sense for them at this stage or not. The secondary question of should they go alone, should they go with some publisher, is a subsequent discussion. So I will not kind of get into slides to show or tell you what Nazara offers and what kind of publishing capabilities do we offer. So without much ado, I'll just 2 minutes on Nazara. Nazara is a game publisher. We operate in 45, 48 countries in most of the emerging markets. Indian subcontinent, Africa, Southeast Asia, Middle East. We predominantly run gaming subscription services. And in India, we are also now starting to do, since last 1 year, we dominate Google Play as a local publisher. So that's what we run. I'll explain to you some of the things, but before, I'm seeing a lot of excitement these days around India because China is really kind of taken off, and India being a very, very large market, roughly 1.2 billion users. There's a lot of excitement about what's happening in India. Is India going to grow? Like Chris says, snoring giant, awakened giant, what's really happening? So in my view, India will follow China, but we are still 6 years, 7 years behind China. So those of you who are really thinking that, hey, listen, that $6 billion China, which is really kind of there, will India be roughly around $2-3 billion in next 18 months, 12 months, 24 months? I don't think that's going to happen. India is growing. It's growing very, very fast. But there are many factors which I'll cover in our slides, which will ensure that the juggernaut will reach its pinnacle, will reach its height in around 6-7 years. From now, that's my kind of point of view. India's, some of the stats, for those who love stats, 300 million internet users, apps are being downloaded crazily. You have 200 million smartphones, roughly 5 million smartphones to 7 million smartphones are being sold every month. Numbers are huge. Newzo, I saw some t-shirt here, they projected huge amount of mobile gaming revenues for India market, and 45% of all apps downloaded are games. So a lot of gaming activity is happening from app stores. A lot of gaming activity is happening through side loading on devices. A lot of mobile gaming activity is happening through third-party app stores. So people are playing games. There are 100 million mobile gamers roughly in the country today as we speak. Yeah. However, there are some of the factors why India should not be looked with a China lens. Yeah, we have devices. The new devices are being sold. We have 4G is being still rolled as we speak. However, the phones are already, the smartphones are 60-70% 4G enabled. So devices are not a constraint. The rest 30%, 40% are still 2G, which is feature phones. So you still have a feature phone being sold in that market, which may come across as a surprise for you. But the basic reason for that is pricing. You have a feature phone which is being sold at $20 and a smartphone starts at $40 to $50. So there is a 2.5 times price difference between a feature phone and a smartphone, which still means that a consumer who may be making monthly roughly around $200, he can't afford or she can't afford to have a smartphone. Infrastructure, as I said, 4G is being rolled out. So many countries which have seen 80%, 70% 4G, we are 5-6% 4G. And tier 1 towns will take next 18 months to have all 4G. The funny thing is you have a 4G phone, but still consumers are putting a 2G SIM. Yeah, because the price difference between a 2G price and a 3G and a 4G price is roughly 4 times, 5 times. Yeah. So you have consumer which is very price sensitive, price conscious. We have got a great news last week where one of the largest guy entered into the market has disrupted the data pricing. So I hope that data pricing should get sorted. But currently, that's why you have lots of 2G users still there in country, which has a direct implication on what kind of games can they play. Most of these consumers have never seen PC internet because internet happened for them on mobile. It's the first time they saw internet, and hence what to do on internet is an education process. The 100 million mobile gamers, some of them or most of them have heard gaming from their peer pressure, and that's how they kind of got into gaming, right? So we are not a country which saw in console gaming or a PC gaming. We are a country which is seeing gaming on mobile happening for the first time. And then people who are playing games, habit for in-app purchases, and the last mile infrastructure. These are some of the things which will ensure that, why I mentioned that you may have infrastructure in place, you may have devices in place, you may have internet in place, but it may still be a 6-7 years before you really have a $4-5 billion market really happening. That will happen, there is no doubt about it. Just that the message which I want to give it to you, do not look at India and making money from tomorrow. If that's the decision criteria in your boardroom, that should we spend time and get money tomorrow? No, it's not going to happen. If you're looking at building your brand, community, a lot of users, and are there for 2-3 year horizon, perfect market for you to get into. So just to give you some more perspective, we have 600 million people who are still not on internet. Yeah, these guys are going to come on internet in over next 3 to 5 years. We have 200 million people who are, you may call it internet user, but not internet consumer. They are accidental users or light users as we speak. And then there are 80 million people who are heavy to medium users of internet. That's the addressable market for the freemium gaming, which we can really talk about, right? Now, so one of the thing is, when we sit outside India, I mean, look at 350 or 300 million mobile game internet users, we think it's a large market. But as I said, there is an education phase, there is a habit phase, and which kicks into this. So roughly, how is this market going to change? There'll be an evolution. Obviously, 600 million people will not keep sitting without internet. They will come on internet, and these 200 million people will become. So this is how we see the market in next 3 to 5 years. We see roughly this 80 million people become 200 million guys. We see these people who are flirting with internet, flirting with mobile gaming are 400 million. So you're talking about 400 plus 200, 600 million addressable market. Out of that 200 million being ripe market for freemium. Now, assuming that in 3 to 5 years, your infrastructure, which is the amount of investment which is going, will be taken care of. Your payment, micropayment options will be taken care of. You have devices already available in the market, and the devices are going to become better and better. You have staring at a large market, which is going to really grow at like a hockey stick. Hence, a perfect time for you to start thinking of what could be done in this market, because some of you or many of you might have missed the Chinese bus, and this bus may also leave if you don't think now. Some of the examples of ecosystem, you have carrier billing happening, still very strong. That is one of the most efficient payment channel really there. Google Play has credit cards. Credit card penetration in the country is very low. You may have a 10-12% penetration. So if you're looking at the masses, then that's not the right payment model. However, if you're looking at top 20 million people which are affluent on premium devices, absolutely bang on. Those are the guys which will have credit card. You have local OEMs. Android is the ecosystem, 90%, 95% dominated, or let me say fragmented between local OEMs, Chinese OEMs, and the global OEMs. You have local ad networks, global ad networks. And what is heartening is alternate payment channels are really becoming big, like Alipay in China, we have Paytm and others. Yeah. So this ecosystem is also evolving. App stores fragmentation is beginning to happen. Telcos have their app stores, OEMs have their app stores, third-party app stores, Chinese app stores, and Google dominates. So there is fragmentation which is going to really evolve and happen. And hence, if you're building your brand and user base now, it's a good time when the app stores will run behind you rather than the other way around. Have I pressed something, Chris, here? This is not clicking. Sorry? Yeah. So what we believe is going to work here, looking at the audiences, we think that there are 2 segments of audience, or 3 segments. One is the casual users, which are really playing your arcade, puzzle racing, runners, those kind of games. Then there is 20 million audience, which is not small, could be bigger than many countries, which will play your RTS, RPG, strategy, shooting, those kind of games. And then we have a intersection of these two, which is social casino. Social casino as a category is really, really big, much bigger as a percentage than the US market. Percentage is a function of because the RTS thing is still not developed so much. So you have these three segments, and these are the three areas where you can really figure out on what genre of the gaming you really want to get into. What as Nazara we have done is, we have kind of looked at the local content. We have signed some exclusive big IPs, Bollywood stars, cricket stars, kids IPs, TV, and we are making a lot of casual games made for India, where the user has a very simple game mechanics, very simple familiarity. And we are working with developers, Indian or global, to really create those games. We are also looking for bringing developers like Kaddarope to India and working with them on what could be done to localize it from an Indian point of view. The localization from Indian point of view, one of the important thing if it's a casual game, is the game size. 15 MB, 20 MB, great, beautiful. If you can make it even lesser, the consumers will be delighted. If you are talking about a 40 MB, 50 MB, you are increasing friction and your funnel of installed downloads will look slightly worse. If you're looking anything above 50 MB and casual game, I don't think that's the right strategy at all for the market. Yeah. Some of the games which we have really done and which have really testimony to our 15 MB and below and the local IP, we have been consistently hitting #1 on Google Play top free charts. Some of these games have been ahead of Candy Crush, Temple Run, Subway Surfer. Yeah. So what we believe is the validation of size and validation of IP has really worked well. Now, yes, our game may not have the similar amount of retention which a Subway Surfer and Temple Run has, and hence we have not consistently been holding on to #1 position. But we believe that partnerships with games which have already have that will really help us to kind of cement that position. Yeah. We have looked at a social casino game, and what is important is people who are looking at alternate monetizations, the very interesting aspects of the market. Since credit card penetration is very low, there are alternate modes of payment, whether it's somebody directly depositing money in the bank account, or there are alternate payment channels. They become really important if you're trying to make your money through in-app purchases, and especially on Android. iOS, cakewalk, no issues, because you have users who have credit cards and all that stuff. But if you're targeting Android and Android users, alternate payment channels become very important. Second thing is it's become important is we have looked at the role which community management really plays in interacting with them, engaging with whales and dolphins, and converting them on increasing RPPU. And I think that's really, really critical in a country where you need to handhold consumers who are not so evolved at this stage. So because of these two factors, we took this game from a developer which was languishing and grossing 300 and down ranks, and we have kind of got it up in top 50 in less than 3 months. Casual games monetization, I think reward videos, reward videos, reward videos. That's the one mantra which really works. And second is the brand integration inside the games without interfering with consumer experience. Local brand tie-ups inside the game, that's where you can monetize your casual game. Otherwise, I was looking at an interesting slide by another speaker. India is #2 in terms of ads being generated, but doesn't stand in top 20 in terms of the revenues, which means that your eCPMs are much lower compared to your US or a UK or a Germany. Now, if your eCPMs are lower, you need to find an alternate way of monetizing your casual games, which is brand integration, which becomes very important. There are a couple of questions which I've been asked always whenever I've interacted in one-on-one or in groups. So I will kind of answer these questions which will help you to kind of understand the market. This is what Indians are playing. You can see puzzle, racing, arcade, adventure, sports, cricket is equal to sports. So that's what, these are the game genres which casual users, which are roughly 60 million people, which are really playing. And you got to kind of keep it simple, make the game mechanics simpler, easy to pick up, intuitive gameplay, and that really works. Make it complex, those 60 million people will run away. Yeah. If you have a complex FTUE, you can really look at a D1 retention of 20%. Yeah. How much does a game make? In terms of downloads, from Google Play, roughly 1.5 million downloads. iTunes, you could see the number of downloads sharply reduce. Yeah. However, when you look at the revenues, the #1 grossing game would be making, iOS is fairly equal to, or 40%, 60%, that kind of thing, which you can see from there. Yeah. So $1.5 million, you can look at these, whether you can look at glass half full or glass half empty. This is a number 5-6 years back US top grossing #1 used to have. And this is a number already happening in India in spite of all the barriers to pay which exist there. So conversion percentage is very low. You have on average less than 0.5% of consumers really converting. 0.5% also is skewed because of Clash of Clans and Clash Royale and other couple of games. So iOS, if you're making a grossing game, a mid-core game, iOS becomes a very important channel. If you're making a casual game, Android is your key channel. You can actually ignore iOS also, because the 90% of users are going to come from Android. So it's also a function of how your game has converted and monetizing, and then kind of take that call. We believe that these are the 3 genres which are really going to really happen for mid-core and Indian IAP disruptors. And if you happen to really kind of look at India and how to attack it, either of these 3 genres or all of these 3 genres could be a good one to disrupt the market and really kind of get it there. Currently, as I said, Clash of Clans is on top, and then it's a kind of a level playing field for everyone. Social casino, and this is the category to really make money through in-app purchases. And we believe that some bit of Indianization will help. English is the language, so you don't need to worry about localizing into Indian languages. However, in terms of art, if you want to kind of really resonate with people, and also in terms of live operations and local events, those are the things which are important, which can really help you in kind of reaching there. Yeah. That's what we are kind of looking at. We believe that take the global brands into India. We apply our local consumer knowledge, local community knowledge. You have the game which is kind of working. And let's create something, a community, a network, which is going to last for next 2, 3, 5 years. That's all I have. I hope I'm in time. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Cool. Wow, that was really insightful. Lots of data, lots of information. Do we have any questions for Manish? Oh, there's one at the back. Run, Elspeth, run.
Thank you for a great presentation.
Thank you.
Do you know if there are any specific legal or regulatory things that a game developer has to take into account if they want to enter to Indian markets?
So if you are not doing a real money gambling, right? If you're doing a real money poker or real social casino, whatever it is, then you need to really be worried about. Beyond that, you shouldn't be worried about anything. Yeah, so there are no legal or statutory things which kind of bind you, except if you're not in real money gambling.